I'm just about to send Alek on his first solo. We've already flown multiple circuits up to this point, practicing a couple of emergencies, lots of takeoffs and landings to make sure he's really watching and feeling that helicopter, and explaining once again about how different it's going to be when he lifts for the first time by himself. So of course obviously you can see me just getting out of the helicopter. I've got a radio with me as well, so it can be in radio contact if we really had to. But we've never had to use it, so it's more just sort of a comfort blanket more than anything else. One last little reminder, make sure he's got the frictions off, although he's going to move that slightly to the left and slightly forward to help that CFG shift. What he's going to go through is really just the same routine as always. When we're about to lift, he's going to check the helicopter, look around him, then looking up front, gently, slowly feeling the helicopter ground. One of the things he has to do though is first of all just radio the tower. This is a change of detail. It's a new captain on board. They already know the details of his name, so I've already booked that out with the tower beforehand. But he's still got to make that call, so he's going to make radio contact with the tower. They'll reply, and you'll read that back. So one final check, that's me just looking in the distance to make sure everything looks fine around, there's nothing to distract or disturb him. And then I explain that when I'm sort of, move my arms up, it's just a case of, well, as far as I can tell, everything looks fine, so as long as you're right there, Alek, start that process. It's also a method of ensuring that the student is not staring inside the cockpit, that they're looking out in front of them, not necessarily focusing on me, but just making sure that their eyes are up, they're looking outside. And there he is, you can see him just moving the cyclic at the moment, where he's getting lighter and lighter, just trying to feel his way off the ground, find the new balanced position. And there he is, very nicely done. At a nice safe hover height. And he very quickly got himself settled in hover, so it's very stable, very good. And a quick radio call as per usual, but this time with a student call sign, so student pilot in helicopter Zulu Zulu Circuit North. He's read back and just announced that he's taking off. He's off he goes. And so this is nothing new, as in doing a circuit, these sorts of transitions, but it will feel different, as we've explained. It'll accelerate quicker. It'll want to climb away quicker. It'll use far less power. Otherwise, it's still going to accelerate close-ish to the ground, reaching at least sort of 40 knots before he starts climbing away. See, manifold air pressure wise, the AC is only just about 20 inches of manifold air pressure to achieve quite a nice rate of climb. Should be doing the usual we teach them on the climb out. Just have a quick glance inside the cockpit just to make sure there's nothing obviously wrong, and that you're not pulling too much power, for instance, and that your carburetor heat is clear of the amber. The copy gauge is clear of the amber. So it's doing an anti-clockwise or a left-hand circuit, which normally would be sort of unusual for us. The wind predominantly in the UK comes from the southwest, so that makes that dictates we do right-hand circuits normally to go north of the airfield. But for gosh, about the last must be 6 weeks, we've mostly had northeasterly winds, hence that's why Alek's doing a left-hand circuit. So it's just in his downwind position now. Levelling off, 3-deck check. See him talking on the radio, so he's just doing his student pilot call sign, just letting them know he's downwind. That's good, it's just adjusted the car beat, preparation for descending. Right height, right speed, right position. Maybe thinking about beginning to descend now, because we remind them, of course, if I hop out, you're about 68 kilos lighter. The helicopter won't come down quite as easy. So you may have to just begin your descent a little bit earlier than normal. Effectively a left base now. Just heading down the M1. Just about to go past the power substation on the left-hand side and then make a small left turn heading towards the north side grass, and that's just beyond the yellow field you can see there to the left of the reservoir. Looking good, not too high, not too low, not too fast, not too slow, yeah, very nice. Fine off the north side grass. You see the helicopter there, that's one of ours, just keeping out of the way. Give him plenty of space. Come nicely down as briefed. Just into a hover taxi first, rather than just trying to come to a complete stop all in one go. We'd like just to come down to a hover taxi because it helps with stability in the yaw, and then just gently bring it to a hover. Find the spot where he took off from. The Elstree is it's a gentle slope, sloping away from Alek and slightly off to the left, but sloping off the left is quite helpful because of course the R22 hangs left skid low. We like them to find a spot that they're happy with and they can come back to, so they know what it's going to feel like when it tries to, or when they put it down onto the ground. So he stabilised himself very nicely, and yeah, just gently descending, not trying to anticipate the ground. Just gently working his way down, and there he is. Very nice landing. Taking a few photos, etc., just to mark the occasion. First solo being exercise 15, and of course, if all goes well, which it does, it's an exercise that you literally only ever do once. That's it. First solo done. After that, it's no longer a first solo. We have first solo navigation, where you leave the ATZ and head off on actual navigation. That comes a little bit later on. It's got a few hours yet to build in the circuit, doing more circuits by himself, more hover practice, takeoffs and landings, gaining that confidence and skill level. It's me just talking to him, put the headset straight on just so I can talk to him. shuttle, we have to be particularly careful, of course, because we're climbing in and out around the collective lead just under our left leg, so we have to be very careful we don't knock that or roll on the throttle as we climb out underneath that leg. There we are. I'm just explaining and just chatting about the different attitude it took or adopted when he was in the hover, so slightly more nose up. Always feels a lot more than it really is, and the cycling position sort of forward and a bit more to the left often feels like you've really moved it a lot, and you haven't in reality. When we're looking back at the videos, it's barely a few centimetres it's moved. You become so attuned to that, it feels like a large movement. That's it, another quick radio call, just to let them know that we're 2 persons on board, so again another change of detail. So although we haven't stopped the helicopter, it's in essence a new flight. I just reminded him, don't forget, it's going to feel different again now I've got back in. So just usual technique, just carefully watch and feel. And then it's back to Heli Apron West. Marvellous. Well done, Alek. Crafty little selfie, just again, so it's nice to be able to mark the occasion for them. So I never had that when I learned to fly 25 years ago. Literally, I've just about found a photo of me standing by the helicopter I did my first solo in. That was it. No video footage, no nothing at all. So it's a really nice thing for them. And we do usually, as you saw there, first solo is traditionally for us just a single circuit, just to get past that. It's not a hurdle, just to get past that milestone of flying it by yourself, so that we've then got something we can talk about and build upon. Very, very occasionally, a first solo might be just a hovering exercise, and there might be various reasons behind that. Maybe the student is ready to go solo, but they're just not happy with the weather conditions on that particular sortie, but there's no reason why they can't get it off the ground for them by themselves for the first time. But otherwise, you actually do a circuit. So we're back on Heli Apron West, finding a spot you're happy with. Of course, not too close to objects like our fuel bales are there over on the right hand side. Teach in an ideal world you have at least a rotor diameter between you and the nearest object to keep you well and truly clear. Yeah, a very nice landing. Again, congratulations.